Sarah, two questions. One, do you have a reaction to Steve Bannon's comments on 60 Minutes saying that the firing of James Comey was the biggest political mistake in modern history? And secondly, if you could look forward to tomorrow a little bit at the President's meeting with the Malaysian Prime Minister, what do you expect to achieve during that meeting, and will the President address or avoid the issue of the U.S. investigation into him?
Yeah, pretty wide-ranging topics, so I'll try to make sure I cover first on the Comey firing. I think that we've been pretty clear what our position is, and certainly I think that that has been shown in the days that followed that the President was right in firing Director Comey. Since Director's firing, we've learned new information about his conduct that only provided further justification for that firing, including giving false testimony, leaking privileged information to journalists. He went outside of the chain of command and politicized an investigation into a presidential candidate. I think the President's been very clear about his position on that front. He's very pleased with the new director and has full confidence in him to fully restore and lead the FBI. In terms of Malaysia, and on that question, hard transition, but I'll try to make sure we cover that. The United States and Malaysia have had a 60-year relationship and partnership built on common economic and security interests, and that continues, and the President looks forward to discussing a wide variety and wide range of regional and security issues with the Prime Minister, and talking about ways that they can strengthen counterterrorism cooperation, certainly the halt of ISIS, addressing North Korea and their continued actions, and making sure that we promote maritime security in the South China Sea. Those are certainly, I think, some of the priorities of tomorrow's meeting, but I'm not going to get ahead much further than that on any conversation that may take place. Look, we're not going to comment on an ongoing investigation being led by the Department of Justice, and that investigation is apolitical and certainly independent of anything taking place tomorrow. Matthew.
Thanks, Sarah. I also have a question on Mr. Bannon's interview. During that, he said, I think Mitch McConnell and to a degree Paul Ryan, they do not want Donald Trump's populist, economic, nationalist agenda to be implemented. It's very obvious. It's as obvious as night follows day. First of all, does the President agree with that obvious characterization of McConnell and Ryan?
The President's committed to working with Congress to get some big things done. We've got a very big agenda. The President wants to work with all members of Congress. Obviously, that includes Republican leadership as well as Democrats. I think you saw some of the President's leadership last week when he helped strike a deal to make sure that we got the funding that was necessary. We're focused on moving things forward, and certainly that's the goal and the priority of the administration.
So on that note, would he like to see, given his past criticisms of Mr. McConnell and Ryan, would he like to see different leadership in the Republican Congress?
Look, right now the President is committed to working with the leadership we have, and nothing beyond that at this point. Jonathan?
Sir, just to follow up on Bannon's comments, he actually, when he said all that about McConnell and Ryan, but also said that they wanted to nullify the 2016 election results. So just a simple yes or no question, does the President agree with that assessment?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't had that conversation with him, Jonathan.
Is he still talking to Steve Bannon? Does he still seek his counsel on the outside?
I know they've had one conversation, but I don't think anything beyond that since he left. John Decker.
On Steve Bannon.
Popular topic.
Keep it going. Yeah, it's a good topic. Do the President have to
I think
watch?
we may be answering more questions on Steve Bannon now that he's not here than when he was, but go ahead.
You might think about that. Did the President happen to watch the interview? Any reaction? Did you happen to watch the interview on 60 Minutes?
I'm not sure if he saw it in its entirety. I know he has seen clips of it, but I don't know that he watched the entire thing. I did watch parts of it.
What was your reaction to it? As a former colleague of yours who worked here at the White House, were you disappointed with any of his comments? Were you surprised by any of his comments? Did you like the fact that a former staffer is speaking so openly about some of the inner workings of what happens here at the White House on a regular basis?
I'm sure it made for great TV, and I'm sure CBS will be happy to put those ratings out. As for me, I'm here to speak on behalf of the administration. Francesca?
Why are you doing a good thing, Sarah? Keep on
Is that what this is, a good thing?
Staying on the topic of Steve Bannon, another comment he made was that Dreamers should consider self-deporting when their work permits run out. Is that something that the White House thinks is realistic, that the Dreamers would voluntarily leave the country when their work permits run out? And is that something the President thinks that they should do?
The administration's been clear what our position is. We're hoping that Congress will step up and do their job and fix this problem and implement responsible immigration reform, and addressing that problem would be part of it.
Realistic that they would leave.
Last week, Nancy Pelosi told reporters the president would sign the DREAM Act. Is that accurate? Would the president sign the DREAM Act?
Again, the president and the administration are looking at responsible immigration reform, and part of that would be part of that process, but we want to do something that addresses a multitude of issues. And again, Congress has 6 months to do their job. We're very hopeful and confident that they will.
In his 60 Minutes interview, Steve Bannon said that this discussion over DACA could lead to a civil war in the Republican Party. How and why is he wrong about that?
I think that Steve always likes to speak in kind of the most extreme measures. I'm not sure that I agree with that. Jonathan?
Was the president disappointed by Steve Bannon's comments on 60 Minutes?
I'm not sure if he was disappointed in comments.
And separately, did Steve Bannon warn the president that firing James Comey would be the biggest political mistake in modern history?
I'm not aware that conversation ever took place. As I mentioned when we started, the governor of Florida has a press conference that'll be starting here in a few minutes. We make sure everyone has the opportunity to tune in. The press team will be here, and we're happy to answer any questions, particularly if you have anything beyond Steve Bannon. We'll be even more than happy to answer. Thanks, guys.
Tim Scott meeting with